Hello friends, welcome to this new video. In this video, I will be talking about another Canadian visa form IMM5257E or application for visitor visa temporary resident visa. So this will be another form which you are required to fill in if you are going to apply for Canada visitor visa. For other forms and other information, I have more videos in my channel. Please watch them. Now to fill up this form, the first thing you need to fill up is UCID, which is unique client identifier. So basically if you are applying for the first time, you won't be having this UCI, so you need to leave it blank. But if you have earlier applied for any visa or this visa, then you have this UCID already in your visa documents or in any communication with the IRCC, use that. Now I want service in, you need to specify the language, so select English. Then visa required is visitor visa. Now in personal details section, you need to provide your full name, which is family name as your given name according to your passport. This is really important. You need to match each and every detail from your passport in this application form. So write here the same spelling whatever is mentioned in your passport. Now if you have ever used any other name other than your passport name, then you need to provide that name here, otherwise just select no and move on. Then your gender, your date of birth, your place of birth, town, and then country of your birth. You need to provide this data, then your current citizenship. So whatever is your current citizenship, need to select from this drop down list. Now point 7 is about current country or territory of residence. So most of the time if you are a citizen of India living in India, you can specify India here and you can proceed. But if you are an Indian citizen and you are currently living in Dubai on work permit or US on work permit or some other country on student visa or any visa, then you need to specify your current country, your current status in that country, whether you are a citizen over there, permanent resident, visitor, worker, whatever, and your form from and to date, since when you are in this country, in that country, and how long you are going to stay. Then if your residency history is less than 5 years, then you need to provide other country of residence as well. The most important thing here is you are called a resident of that particular country if you have lived there for at least 6 months of duration. So if you are going to US for a 3-month visa, if you are visiting Thailand or a tourist visa, or going to Dubai for 4 months, you need not to provide these details here because you are not a resident of that country in that case. If you have lived at least 6 months in a particular country, then you need to provide the details here. So for the past 5 years, you need to show your history here. The same information, country, your status over there, then your duration of stay. Now in point 9 we will be talking about country or territory where applying. So if you are from India, living in India and citizen of India, then obviously you need to specify India in this row. But if you are an Indian citizen and you are trying to apply it from some other country, you need to provide details from where you are applying this visa. But if you are Indian citizen living in currently India and applying from India, then you need to just select this yes checkbox and move on. You need not to write anything here. In point 10, your current marital status, you need to provide your marital status if you are single, married, divorced, whatever it is, and then date of commencement of this relationship. Basically if you are married, then you need to provide date of your marriage here. Now then you need to provide the name of your spouse, family name or given name. Now the important thing is you need not to provide your family name. You need to provide the name as per her or his passport. This is most important thing. So exactly name should be entered here. Then again, for office use only, do not write in this space, so just leave it as it is. Now in page 2 we will discuss about personal details here, which is continued. So section 11, have you previously been married or in common law relationship? So basically it might happen with someone if they are divorced and got married again, or if they are a widow and got married again. In such cases you need to provide the details of your previous spouse or partner as well. So the details include their name, date of birth, type of relationship, and then your period of relationship. Then languages. Now you need to provide what is your mother tongue. So basically if your mother tongue is Hindi, write Hindi here. In B, are you able to communicate in English or French? You need to select one language, so you can select neither as well. It is not a mandate for visitor visa that you should be an expert in English or French. Then which language are you most at ease? So here you need to provide Hindi. If you are good at Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, whatever you want, you can write here. Now, have you taken a test from a designated testing agency to assess your proficiency in English or French? He is talking about IELTS or something. So this requirement is not mandatory for visitor visa. You can safely select no and move on. Now in the next section we will talk about the passport details. So the passport number, country of issue, issue date, expiry date. Now two sections here, 5 and 6, are somewhat specific in nature. So first talks about Taiwanese national and other talk about a Israel passport. So if applicable on you, then you need to select that, otherwise leave it. National identity document. So in India we do not have a national ID document, so select yes and move on. But in some countries there might be a national identity document, so select yes and fill up the details here. The same applies to the US PR card categories people. If you are having this US PR card, then you need to provide these details, otherwise no. So most of the time if it is no, just select no and move on. If it is yes, you need to provide more details here. Now the contact information. This is important, as if you are applying, then IRCC might contact you to ask more details, any clarification, or to convey the results of your application, approval or rejection. You need to provide all the details here. So don't get confused, just leave these details which are not applicable in your case. If you do not have a PO box, do not provide one. Apartment unit, if you are not living in an apartment, you just have a street address, they provide the house number, provide the street name, your city and town, and country, province, postal code and districts. Again, if this current mailing address is the same as your residential address, then select yes and do not fill up this thing. But if your current mailing address is different than your residential status, then address, then provide these details here too. Now the telephone number, if you have a Canada or US phone number, checkbox, click this, otherwise you need to check this and type the phone number along with the country code. If you can provide more than one phone number, it is good. If one is not working, at least you have an alternate listed with IRCC, otherwise it's not mandatory to provide this one. Fax number, most of the time you do not have a fax number, so you can safely leave it. Email address, one tip here is provide your email address in the capital letters. This will avoid a lot of confusions. Now moving to the last page of our form, details of visit to Canada. This is a very important section which decides sometimes the fate of the application, whether you will get approval or rejection. So the purpose of a visit, there are a defined purpose of visit here: business, tourism, studies, student, worker, super visa, family visit or other. So you can select whatever applies. So if you are going to visit a family member of yours, then you need to provide the family visit. If you are just going for tourism purpose, visit Canada, you need to provide tourism. There is one special category added only for Canada temporary resident as a other category, which is COVID-19 travel. So you need to provide this section as other, and in other you need to write COVID-19. So basically this section is for applicants who has at least one relative immediate family member in Canada on PR as a citizen or a temporary visa, basically work permit. So if this is applies to you, it means you will get priority over other applicants and your visa will be processed faster than others. But if it does not apply to you, do not specify any details, as there are many other conditions you need to fulfill. Check with CIC web page and then apply if it is applicable in your case. Otherwise, for family visit, you can just select the family visit or tourism or whatever it is. Indicate how long you plan to stay. Here it is talking about the duration of your stay in Canada. You need not to be very specific or correct about these dates. So these are just tentative dates to show that you are planning to visit in October or September and will be there for 2 months and will be back in December. So after you get your visa, you can anytime modify your dates, because anyhow this visa is gonna be a multi-entry visa. So do not worry about these dates, just provide any dates which is around 2 months from your date application, and the from or to date difference should not be more than 4 or 5 months to be on safer side. Now, name, address and relationship of any person or institutions I will visit. So here you need to provide your contacts in Canada where you are going to visit. So basically, if you have any friend in Canada, or if you have any relative, or you are planning to visit any institution, you need to provide these details here. Up to 2 contacts you can provide details. Education, so here you need to provide your education details. This is pretty straightforward. If you have any university education, check this box and then provide all the details here. Now employment, now we need to provide employment history for 10 years. So if you have any positions in government, basically if you are in forces, or if you are ever in police, or if you are in paramilitary, defense, or any intelligence services, you need to provide it very clearly here, your current activity and your employer, along with all the addresses of that with the duration. So whatever you provide, just provide that true and correct. This is most important thing. I need to provide your data of last 10 jobs. Now background information, so this is about your background. So it will ask about some medical questions, some your personal questions. So for example, in A, it is asking about the history of tuberculosis in your family or you. So basically if you have had any time TB, or in your family there is a history of TB, provide yes and share all the details here. In B, it is asking about a physical or mental disorder, then provide these details and mention whatever you have. Now the thing is, it might be possible in some cases that the data you are going to write is more than what is place provided here, the placeholder. Then you can attach a piece of paper along with this application and write the details on it, mentioning the section number. For example, if I go backwards, you can see the employment. So it might be possible in the last 10 years, if you have any government positions more than basically 3 positions, then you need to provide these details. If you do not hold any government positions, you need not to provide any details. So and one more important point, so if you are in private sector, but the private sector you have switched job for more than 4 times or 5 times, attaches the page and then mention the employment details over there. So all the employments along with public and private will go in this employment section for last 10 years. Now we will flow with our form now. Have you ever remained beyond the validity of your status, attended school without authorization, or worked without authorization in Canada? Answer all the questions truly here. These are pretty much straightforward questions. If you have ever been refused a visa or permit, denied entry, deported ever, you need to provide that. So first question was asking about only in Canada. The second is asking about any other country. Or C, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? This is the part which most of us miss most times. Like if I have already applied to Canada, my visa was rejected or refused, or maybe it was not processed, I withdraw the application, or one application is already pending. In all the cases, I should select yes here and provide the details in this box. Now section 3, have you ever committed, been arrested for, been charged with or convicted of any criminal offense in any other country or territory? This is an important thing, but one thing you need to remember, if you were charged earlier but you were let go by the court, or you were found innocent and the case is now closed, you need not to provide the details and select no here. But if there is an ongoing case or you were convicted ever, then you need to provide all the details with yes checkbox. Now fourth, did you serve in any military or civil defense unit or serve in a security organization or police force? So you need to provide the special details here. If you worked anywhere in the defense sector or military or police, otherwise select no and move on. In 5, if you are affiliated to a violent political group, you can read it, it is very clear. If you are, then select yes, otherwise no. Same applies to point number 6, apply yes or no. Then the last thing is you need to say yes here. It is asking about consent, if IRCC can use your information and can contact you in the future, say yes. Then you need to declare that you have answered all the question in the application fully and truthfully. Then you need to sign here and you need to put a today's date here, and that's all. You are done with this form. You have filled up another form. It was quite a big form, it took your time, so just read it, review it fully before submitting it. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Have a good day.